It's the old school gamer back again, this time with some Golden Lap mod play. We're currently playing with the current build, 250313. We're going to go with the 1984 mod, which is the era of F1 that I fell in love with. And this is a really fun game if you've not seen it. It's currently on Steam, I think for about $15. Really fun game. We're going to jump in, we're going to create a new career, and let's call it Old School. And we get to pick our team. Now with this mod, it does change the team names to be year correct. So we have McLaren, Ferrari, Team Lotus, Brabham, Renault, Ligieri, Arrows, Alfa Romeo, Tolman, and Williams. And I think I'm going to go with the Williams team. Could also potentially go with Lotus, but I think we'll go Williams. So their predicted position is 6th. They're kind of a middle of the road team. Not amazing, not terrible. So in this game, you get to build your team, your drivers, your engineer, and your pit crew, chief, and you'll see how they play out in the game. So we have $55 to build our team. I think my plan will be to pick a really good engineer because that allows you to improve your engine very quickly and get other benefits, and probably one good driver and then one cheap young driver, and then we'll go for our pit crew. So let's see what options we've got here. We've got a late career and a mid-career engineer. So this engineer builds trust between them and the team. The driver has a +1 to their focus. That's really good. Team member has mastered their tuning techniques to perfection. Parts turned by them have a +1 add to the minimum value. And the engineer is a master of their craft. That's a really good engineer. He has good influence, expertise, influences the performance of the car parts they build, and his precision is pretty good as well. Rival, Grant Mitchell. So he has a better experimental and his aerodynamicist knows that his racing physics are the greatest allies. Chassis parts built by or tuned by this engineer gain the following 20+ bonus on chassis performance, +1 bonus on chassis tuning. So both of these are pretty good. I think I'm going to go with the mid-career guy though, just because he has one more trait, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. They both have 10, but he's cheaper. So we're going to go with James Pope, good British guy. And we're going to pick our P1 driver. So we have the most expensive guy, Anders Nilsson. But I think we're going to go with Nelson PK. Derek Warwick, Nigel Mansell could be good, but he's already taken by Lotus. He would have been the driver for Williams in the day, along with probably Derek Warwick, I believe, or he may have driven for Team Lotus. So I think Nelson PK is probably my guy. So he's good at overtaking. So I have $8 left to pick. Let's just see the crew chief. We get somebody for, so speed is influences the time it takes to perform a pit stop and influences the chances for a pit stop to be successful. So you don't want a failed pit stop. That significantly adds time. We can't afford any of these $9 guys, so we're down to $7 guys. We want a guy who's maybe a little bit more safe. This guy could be good. This crew chief isn't the best at supervising the quality of their car parts. Car parts have their minimum reliability. That's not great. What about this guy? He likes to party. Okay. Not great on skill chance though. So if we go for the $9 guy, I don't think we have enough. Yeah, we're over budget. So we'd have to reduce somebody else, which I don't really want to do. And so do we go speed or risk of failure? I think we go with Yorjana. We'll give him a try, and then we'll just choose like a $1. So we have two choices here. Yeah, we'll go for Christopher Fisher. So it's going to be our team. Nelson PK, P1, P2, Christoph Fisher, James Pope as our engineer, and our crew chief is Yajana Javalainen. I think that's going to be pretty good. P1 driver is aggressive, so he has a bonus when he overtakes. We have a cheap. He has good focus, which is great. Double focus, so he should be good focusing. We're going to choose our car model now. So we go experimental. The ranges on this are a little wider, but the reliability is also 56 to 79 versus 68 to 95 reliability, but the performance is a little less. And then conservative reliability is a little tighter, but performance is lower. So I think we'll go balanced. And that allows us to build our team. And so you'll see as we move on. So we've got to pick our sponsor now. We're probably not going to do that well in the first season. It's probably going to be tough to get into the top two. And so probably this Goodyear sponsorship is not viable for us. 5 or more might be possible. This is much more likely though, so I think we'll go for Segafredo. And we'll see what our car ended up coming out. Our reliability is really high. Performance a little low, particularly on that engine, so that's going to be a tough thing to work on. We're going to have to definitely upgrade that. And we have the option to upgrade that as we go through the game. We are able to spend money. We can also build new parts. So we could, for example, build a new engine. So this would be starting at 2049. We'd add somewhere between 90 and 130, and that would give you your new, but the reliability would be much lower. So probably not going to do that at this stage. Probably just going to upgrade our engines as we go and deal with that. We can see our team here is being summarized, and yeah, this is you can view the standings. Obviously we've not raced yet, so this is just in order of constructor. So you can see the teams and drivers, and you can see our view calendar, so you can see all the various races. Fortunately, the mod doesn't change the name of the tracks. I think some of them are very obvious. This is, for example, Mutton Chop is Silverstone. Schwarzschild, I'm guessing, is the Nuremberg Ring. And then this one is probably Brands Hatch, Francis Hollow. So you can see each race has different variables as well. So Francis Hollow, the tight, narrow nature of the track makes it harder to overtake. harder to hit top speeds, and more dangerous. So overall chance minus to perform, engine performance is down, and so probably going to invest in other areas. And then this one, track is more likely to kill you. And then this one, we're dealing with wet weather. And engine performance is actually improved on this round. So you can see as we go through the races, we go through different countries. So yeah, we're going to see how we go. We want to obviously gain race income and get spots to get those bonuses, so allow us to upgrade our car. So let's jump in. This is our first track, and it's Francis Hollow qualifier. We get to pick our tires. We get to pick how aggressive we are. And this is a really fun game. Each race is about 30 minutes long, depending on how quickly you speed it up. And it looks like we're going to start off dry, in qualifying at least, and then it will turn rainy. So it'll be important to get a good qualifying lap in early, to ensure that we're not, because we're going to be basically getting slower as soon as the rain hits. We're not going to be able to get a very quick lap. So we can see our P1 driver, PK, Nelson PK, and Fisher, currently ranked 15th and 8th for some reason. I don't quite know what that is, probably just alphabetical or something. So we're going to tune our car. Given that we're starting dry, we'll pick soft compound, which is the best for qualifying. And you can see under wet range, where the wet range is we're right at the top end of the wet range. We might even potentially be better off with intermediate. I think we'll try and get one quick soft lap in, and if that doesn't work, we can pivot to intermediates, where obviously you can see is much further up the scale. So yeah, I think we'll start with soft. We'll confirm that. We'll do the same for our other driver, and we'll want to get out pretty quickly. And as you can see, we can click on the race here once we've cleared out. So let's look at the messages. Billy Murray, crew chief of Team Arrows, partied a bit too hard yesterday, is now hungover. They receive a -1 modifier to their ability for the current session. David King, crew chief for Team Renault, feels invigorated and receives a bonus. Nicky Lauda, driver for Team McLaren, partied a bit too hard, so he has a -1 negative. So we're going to want to move out really quickly. If we can try and get out first, that would be fantastic. We did. And we're going to let a few others go, and then we'll try and get out. And the idea is that you want to have a clear track in front of you. I'll be interested to see by the time we get around whether we do. And so we're going to, this is our out lap. And then once we cross checkered flag, this is our timed out. So let's see how we do on this and see if we're able to keep a clear track in front of us. And so at the moment, the times will come up here when we hit the splits. Blue is fastest anyone has done. Green is personal best. And white is no improvement. So far we're obviously a hot lap. We're the only person to have completed a lap, so I'm not surprised that we were best. But as other players come through, like Arnaud, he's already completed the fastest. So he's going to be faster than us. He's got a better car, and so we'll see where we end up. But second is pretty good for the first round. And now number 3, PK, he's now third in the queue. We get another option to tune our car, and this helps improve overall performance for engines, which affects acceleration, chassis, which affects total speed, and steering, which affects braking and cornering. And so for each, we have a number of points to use each time. We get a number of tuning attempts per qualifier. So what we want to try and do here is kind of maximize the impact you'll have. We know that engine performance is impacted here, so and that will be for everybody. And so we probably want to focus on steering and chassis first, and then we can maybe try and bump up our engine performance as we go later. So let's we also need to keep an eye on the rain. At the moment we're in definitely soft territory, just on the top end of the ability of the tires to retain grip. So let's jump in, and we need to upgrade. So basically it's a random number between the ranges you're picking. You want to try and get it up to this golden range, and then you get a golden tune, which gives you kind of a maximum bonus. So we'll keep focusing on this one. 4 to 10, 1 to 4, okay, and then 1 to 3, 2 to 5. Okay, and we'll see if we can get one more soft compound before we have to pivot to intermediates. So let's confirm, and then we'll tune that car up, and we'll get to choose when we go out. We're going to punch straight away. We're going to tune our second car. We're going to stay on softs. We're going to try maybe focusing on the chassis for this car. See if we get a good one here. Got 17, that was really good. 6, not so good on that one. 7, we got maximum there, so that's pretty good. We'll confirm, and we'll push it out as soon as there's a gap, and we'll go. We wanted to get 2 quick time lapse. So we can see Nelson Piquet now, he's on his out lap, coming around the corner, Cambridge chicane, Copper straight, he's coming into the straight now, and here he goes. This is his first lap. Let's see how he does when we do the splits. We want to be looking up here and looking for blue, or the very least green, which means he's improved. We got blue on the first one. Obviously your tune helps a little bit as well. We can get double blue, that would be fantastic. We did, which probably means we're moving up. How much we'll move up? We're going up into first place at the moment, which is great. And then number 18, he's also PB'd, and so he's jumped up to Fisher's now number 10th on the grid. And this is basically all about starting position. So, yep. So currently in pole position. Looks like Elaine Prost is catching up though, so he didn't make an improvement on the second leg, so and he did it on the second, but it's still slower. We have a yellow flag, so somebody has crashed or broken down. Looks like it was Boxy, and so basically everybody returns to the pits. You can't overtake in a yellow flag situation, and so we potentially might be able to get another soft lap. Yep, we can. Let's see if we can get some more tune here. 2 to 19, that's a pretty big range. We get towards 19, it's worth investing, but if it's not, that's bad. So let's try it. We got 6, it was very good. Let's try the 4 to 7, 2 to 5. 3 to 9, we got 3, that's not great, and 1 to 5. Okay, and we got 4 minutes to wait, and so it will be beginning to rain again at that point. So we'll confirm. We might be risking it with softs. We may have to pivot to intermediates, but intermediates will be slower. So hopefully we can get another soft lap in. See if we can get our chassis improved here. Got a plus 10, 1 to 17. That's a big range. We want to try and improve that. 4 to 20. Got plus 6, plus 6 again, and then we'll pivot to steering, and we'll confirm there. And as you can see, so our fastest lap was 1 minute 30 and 94 milliseconds. Elaine Prost just behind, and then Fisher on the slightly slower car, and obviously he's not as good a driver. His fastest lap was 1:34, so he's 4 seconds, 3 seconds behind us in that. So now we got to time this, so we go around, do our out lap, and by the time we hit the straight, to do our timed qualifying lap, we are, they're ready to go, and the yellow flag is removed. So I'm going to let everybody leave, and we'll just sneak out right at the end of this with both our units here, both our drivers. It is starting to rain, so I'm not expecting this to be a faster lap for us, but we'll see how we go. We got in front of the main group, which is the important thing. It means we've got clear track in front of us. And so let's see how we go here. We've got a chance of doing another fast lap, but with the rain increasing, it's probably going to be unlikely, but let's see how we go. It's going to be important that 15 stays in front of 13. So let's keep an eye on 1, PK. Is he going to be showing up blue again? Or is it just going to be green or white? White, obviously no improvement. Green is an improvement. That's good. Can we get a second green? We're getting green also on Fisher. We've got a second green. So he's definitely going to improve his first position. So now he's just 16 seconds. Fisher did jump up to 11th. So that was a good lap. Qualifying lap for Fisher. And so this is qualifying. It's pretty straightforward. You don't really have a huge number of choices. It's more about the tuning, getting ready for the main race, and ensuring you're on the right tire. So we probably want to switch to intermediate now. Yep, it's going to continue to rain. As you can see, the rain is increasing. This is water on the track. So we definitely want to switch to intermediates. Even though we're at the bottom range of that, if we switch to softs, we're right at the top end. The line is basically where the wet level is at this moment, and it's going to get worse. So we definitely want to go for intermediates, and you can see wets is far to the right, generally when there's a lot more water on the track. So we're going to keep going, see if we can get a golden tune. This will be a good one. We didn't get a very good number there. So it's not great tuning at the moment, but hopefully we can be ready to go. And then we'll tune our other car here. We'll try and get a golden tune. We're very close to a golden tune. The other danger is that you overtune and you end up falling backwards. There we go. We got a golden tune, and so we get another plus 10, which is really good. Now we're going to focus on steering. Plus 6, there we go. And we're going to confirm. And we're going to time when we go out with PK. We want to create a little bit of a gap and make sure that there's not going to be too many cars coming out with us. So I'm going to go out now. There we go. We got out in front of 4, which is great. And then we'll go out here, and we got out in front of the other cars as well, so that was good timing. We should have clear track because there's nobody in the pits, and so that's really the focus there. We're the only ones on intermediate, so it'll be interesting to see how everybody's time is at the moment. Only Boots on who's making an improvement. Let's see if we get anybody near the top, able to improve on my P1. Pole position. Nope. So Prost is slower at the moment. Rosberg is a little faster, but not in the second sector. We are also not improving on our speed, which is not surprising. Yeah, it's 4 seconds slower with intermediates, but softs are also really not that much better. So the intermediates definitely will be improving as we go, but they're not going to be as fast as softs. So I pretty much guarantee to hold on to pole position here. And so really only need to do now is tune the car. I'm not really that bothered about, trying to get a fast lap. Fisher, there's a chance we could try and improve this, but unlikely, but we'll see what happens. So stay on this minute. You can see now that the little bar has now moved into that range. So let's see if we can get a golden tune. We've got a golden tune on our steering, and now we'll focus on straight line speed. confirm, and we'll tune Fisher's car. We've got a golden tune already, so let's focus on go. We'll go intermediates. So see if we can time it again. So we get in front of, we'll go now, and then we'll send out, and we'll go now. Okay, so we get out in front of another park. We've got clear road in front of us. Allows us to maximize our speed. But I'm not expecting there to be improvements here, just based on the fact we're on a harder compound tire, which isn't as slick, and so grip is reduced, acceleration is reduced. Let's see if 13 can improve though. Fisher, let's go on board. And if you're expecting, amazing graphics in this game, that's not really what this is about. It's a very tactical game, but it's also very simple and super approachable, and it's kind of a lot of fun. No improvement for Fisher, so he remains in 13th place, which I expected, and PK exactly the same as well. Did not make an improvement. Whites across the board. And that will probably be the case for the rest of the qualifying period. So really, it's just about tuning up the car now, trying to maximize our tune and get as many points improvements as we can. So let's see if we can get, that was a good one, plus 12. Got a plus 8, that's really good. Plus 12 again, that's really good. Good tunes throughout there. I'm going to stay on the intermediates, and I'm going to confirm. We might be able to get, we can just send him out straight away. We might get another tune. And we can get a tune here. We can see, so 1 to 4, 1 to 3, 1 to 3 is probably the best option. 2 to 4, 4 to 15, we got 9, that's not too bad. Plus 9, that's also good. We'll go intermediate, and we'll push him out as quickly as we can, just to get another tune in. The laps here are pretty short, 1 minute 37, so we'll be close. We should get back just in time. What's that, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and we're exactly about that. So hopefully we get back in time to get another tune in. Nobody's really going to be changing positions here, just because of the weather conditions and how that impacted qualifying. So as I said, this is just qualifying, and the race will be next, and you'll see how that plays out. It's similar to this, a little different in terms of tyre strategy. There's more choices, and there's a lot more going on, but you'll see. Overall, it's a really fun game. It's very simple graphically, but it has something about it, and I'm sure as the game developer improves the game, you'll put more nuances in it. So our driver has now crashed. Hopefully he's okay. Christopher Fisher has crashed. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, that has created a yellow flag, so that is the end of qualifying. Effectively, we might still be able to tune our PK car. We will not be able to tune Fisher because he did not finish, and so his car is left on the track on the sidelines. He'll get one more tune. So let's see if we can get something good here. Got a plus 5 there, that's really good. Got plus 19, really good. Let's see if we can get a golden tune. We can. We got a golden tune on the chassis, so that's really good. And then we'll use the rest of our points. Try and get a good tune here. Yeah, pretty good. And it doesn't really matter what tire we'll pick. And there's no point sending out. There's only 20 seconds left. Okay, qualifying is complete. And we got P1, pole position. Which doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to win the race. It just means I start at the front of the track with clear track in front of me. If I can get a good start, I can maintain that. But the likelihood is Prost and Rosberg are probably going to be quick to overtake me, just because they have the far superior cars than I do. And so yeah, quote confirmation, P1 for me, and Christopher Fisher, P13. So we can see the race is going to start wet and gradually, so torrential rain to begin with, and rainy, and then eventually overcast. So it's putting me a wet race throughout. And so we can see, and you can see the other character traits. So in Prost, this driver's manners aren't as good as their driving. It's even -1 for their engineering team. But they gain a bonus in car reliability. Rosberg, he's good on wet tracks, which isn't good for me. And he works best with when he's in his own country, which obviously he's not at the moment. So you can see this is the race information, and this is our tire choice. If we pick different tires, it changes the length of time that they last. We're going to be wanting to go probably looking at this intermediates to begin with, and we're probably going to have to pivot to wets at some point. So we're going to start by pushing. So you have some choices here in terms of driving strategy, which impacts your overall speed, but also impacts your tire wear and your crash chance. And so if you leave this on, eventually you will crash. And so you'll see as we go in the race, this starts off at nothing on the scale, gradually becomes red, and when it's red, you're more likely to crash. So you have to toggle this back and forth, going all the way down here to conserve. Your speed is reduced, but also your tire wear. So you can potentially have a strategy where maybe you only change the tires once during the game, during the race, but you just have to, evaluate that as different conditions occur, as red flags occur, etc. And then you have your engine modes, low, medium, and high, which impacts your fuel burn. You can see here, this is our fuel burn. We have all the fuel in the car at the beginning of the race. We don't refuel during the race. It'd be interesting to see if they bring that into this as a mod in future, because obviously back in 1984 they did refuel the cars. It's only a modern day decision that isn't the case. And so if we leave it on medium throughout the entire race, we will be left with 6.7 laps of fuel left. So obviously we can burn the engines a little bit. You can see here, if we did that, we would finish the race with less than fuel, so we'd actually run out probably around lap 53. There's 60 laps to finish, so we would not finish the race. And so we will, to begin with the race, we will have both of these switched on just so that we get a fast start. We want our P1 driver to have team orders, so he will get the benefit of that, and our second driver will not fight our teammate for the same reason. So again, we will have both these switched on at the beginning of the race, and we're both going to start on intermediate. You can see we're bang in the middle of the water level, but it's going to be worsening as you can see the water level going up. So we definitely have to switch to wets at some point, probably around, I would think, maybe 10, 12, 15, maybe maximum laps in. So we'll just have to see how we go. And let's jump in. And so you can see everybody else has picked wets, which is a little concerning. That might mean they're going for a longer strategy. That also probably means they get a head start, because looking at this, if we did pick wets, the current wet range is way below what a wet tire is good at. It doesn't mean a wet tire is bad, it just means that we're going to be able to set faster lap times on intermediates than all the other people, which is good news for us. We might be able to get a good head start. Downside might be that we are changing our tires when everybody else stays on theirs for longer. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. We're going to go on board with P1 when we start, just to see if PK can maintain his lead, which he should be able to do. As we see a few updates, looks like the crew chief of Team Arrow has partied a bit too hard, so he has a negative modifier. Same for the Renault driver. So let's jump on board P1, PK. We've got both cars set to max. So let's see how we go. We don't want to leave this on too long, but we want to get a nice head start and then probably knock this back pretty quickly so that we don't risk. And then let's see where we are with Fisher. Fisher's able to get a little bit more of a head start, and he's able to get a few more positions, and he should be able to continue to do that. He should be pretty competitive on the intermediates, and so we'll just have to be careful when we pit and make sure that we're keeping an eye on that. So on here you can see the gap between first place, second place, and continues all the way down. Your last lap and your fastest lap. As you can see at the moment, we're probably about a second faster than the second driver, Alboreto. And Fisher is currently, competitive in the mix with the other drivers around him, and they're probably in superior cars, so that's good. But we do want to get a bit of a lead up here. We're not worried about tire wear because we will need to change to wets at some point. And so we want to push on with both drivers and try and gain places and get ahead in terms of the race and have as much gap between us and them when we do pit. So if we take a look at, and you can see the scale is improving, and so as stress increases, we're more likely to have a crash. So we don't want to be on this too long. We want to make sure we ratchet it back regularly so that we don't overstress our drivers too soon and keep them in the race. We don't want them sliding off this early on. But we're gaining a nice lead. We've got about 2.7 seconds now between us and second place, nearly 3 seconds. So hopefully that continues to improve. Let's look at our pitch strategy here. And so we're obviously only 6 laps in. We will need to pick wet soon. You can see intermediates. We're near the top end of their capability in the wet, and so we'll start losing traction. That happened a little bit faster than I thought it would. And you can see we're just outside of the wet range at the moment, so at some point in a not too distant future, we're going to have to change our tyres, whereas everybody else will probably stay on wets for a little bit longer. So let's see if the strategy works out. Let's push on again because we're gonna change these tires pretty quickly. So we're not worried about longevity, and we need to try and create as much gap between us. And we may even put the engine down as well. I'm gonna leave 12 to coast. He's not as good a driver, so it looks like Prost is able to maintain my pace. He's obviously in a superior vehicle, so that's part of the problem. But hopefully we can at least pull out in front of some of the other cars. We don't want to burn engines too much because we do need our fuel for the whole race. And there's been a crash. Ugong Pratama pushed the car beyond the limits and crashed. It looks bad. So he's currently, let's see if we can find him, 16th, and so he'll drop down. So we're now in a red flag situation. That means it's really good news for us because basically the grid resets. Everybody lines back up in their current position. So PK will be still P1. Fisher will be P12. So that's an improvement over where we started, and we'll get to pick new tires so we can actually switch to wet, so without it impacting us, without it being a pit stop. And so really good news for us. Helps out a lot. And so now we get to pick our tire strategies. Let's just switch this off. Obviously want to go wet now, because by the time 8 minutes passes and there's going to be even more rain, we also get the opportunity to repair our vehicle, which we do want to do. We've got plenty of seconds to do that. Obviously, if it's a pit stop, you would potentially not want to do this unless you had, a huge lead, and you could afford this length of pit stop. And we're going to start by pushing, just because we want to retain that first place as long as possible. But this is great news for us. It allows us to stay in P1 position without having to pit. And we'll be able to do the same for Fisher as well. And effectively the race will restart on lap 8. And so we'll do the same here. We'll repair everything. We'll go for a start with push. And yeah, and obviously the game at the moment still requires you to speed up this section. I think eventually they'll have a skip to start kind of button or something that allows you to skip through here. You can see Prost just completed the fastest lap, so he was probably going to overtake me on that next lap. His fastest lap is 1:35, mine's 1:36.7, so over 1.5 seconds faster. So yeah, we'll jump forward a little bit, and then we'll jump into, you can see the time ticking down. And so we'll get down into the race. We'll pick P1. And we'll see how we do on this first lap and see if we're able to keep Prost off us. Everybody would have done the same and switched to new wet tires. And so off we go. Let's see if we can keep our lead. Fisher lost a lot of positions, not surprisingly. But we were able to hold off by putting hammer down against Prost, but eventually Prost will overtake us just because he's in a superior vehicle, faster, and I don't want to over push it, and we want to make sure we keep our fuel, and we want to make sure our strategy is sound. And so now you can see our wet tires will probably last us to about lap 31, about halfway through the race, and then we'll flip to another set of wets, and hopefully that will be enough to get us to the end of the race. We'll probably go for a 2-stop strategy, ultimately a 3-stop strategy, but really it's one more stop, one more pit stop, assuming there's no more red flags. And with this amount of rain, we definitely could see some more red flags happening, which would obviously reset the grid and allow us to change our tires without the time penalty. So let's zoom out. Let's see how everybody's doing. Fisher, unfortunately, has fallen back to 18th position. Not really in a competitive vehicle. We're not looking for him to give us too many points. We're hoping he outlasts the rest of the track more than anything, and we get a few more DNFs, do not finishes, as the race continues. So let's see how we do. You can see Prost is currently pushing his fuel, burning fuel, and he's pushing hard. So he's probably going to overtake me. He's still faster, but I'm still 2 seconds ahead, so that's good. Alboreto is pushing hard against Prost, so that will also help me. So we'll see how we do. 13 laps in, retaining first place, which is great news. Piquet's in the zone, so that's good. He's going to put a good lap in. I don't want to push. I don't want to push my tires too much. So we'll see how we go. See if we can make them last as long as possible. Not really extending our leader across, and actually he's just about to overtake me. Right on my back tires. So it looks like in the straights we're able to push out our lead, and then in the corners he's able to catch up. We've got a 2-second lead on him roughly. And Fisher's now in last place. Hopefully we can keep this going. There's no more red flags. So you can see if we did pit now, we wouldn't want to, but because we've got plenty of tire wear still to go. But if we did, we can look at the different strategies and how long the new tires would be lasting us depending on our driving strategy. So we're maintaining first place, going well. The advantage we're going to have is we're going to be able to burn our fuel towards the end of the race. So you can see at the moment, if we did burn our fuel, you can see we would still run out of fuel. So we want to keep going on regular medium level acceleration and just keep it as chill as possible. We're able to keep Prost off us. He's not been able to overtake us at this stage. And so hopefully that can stay that way. And then we'll be able to put the hammer down towards the end of the race and hopefully keep them off us. You can see the race cars now are beginning to stretch out as we're able to get, as the wear on the tires begins to happen. And obviously any time there's a red steering wheel showing up, they're burning through their tires more than me. And so that means my tires might last a little bit longer. And Lauda's just crashed out. It's a yellow flag. You cannot overtake during a yellow flag. And so Lauda, who was likely to get pole or at least top 3, is out. So that's really good news. Fisher's also improved. He's jumped up to 15th, just based on others doing a 2-stop strategy. It's quite early on to do a 2-stop strategy. Let's see what this looks like now. We're still quite a way away from getting to the end of the race. So I want to keep going on these. As the tire wear reduces, your performance does reduce, but it's only marginal, 900 down to maybe 896, 895 at lap 33. And so lap 33, 34 is probably what I want to target to have my pit stop. So we'll see how we go. We'll keep an eye on our lap times. Obviously, Prost has dropped all the way back. He had a pit stop, which is a really good time to do a pit stop during a yellow flag, because actually, let's just consider that. 49 seconds, that would allow us enough time to do a pit stop here. But that would mean we're doing a 2-stop strategy. We would probably lose first place. It's about 28 seconds with a good pit stop to take, and obviously Prost is at 16 seconds. So I think we want to just keep going on the tires we've got, and maybe do one more pit stop and do a 2-stop strategy. Everybody else is going for a 3-stop strategy, and hope that we can maintain our pace. So we'll see what happens here. And that's why this game is, a little more intriguing than it looks. There's a lot of layers of a strategy to this than what first appears. And you can see actually the track is going to be improving. So we might be back to intermediates. We've got another yellow flag. So the De Angelis has just crashed out. And so that's also got to be considered in terms of, you know, are we going to be back into intermediate range in not very long? So you can see at the moment we're not. We're outside of that, but as the track dries out, probably around about this pay, 45, lap 45 is probably but even lap 30, 35, where we're thinking of targeting our stop, it might be dry enough to do intermediates, and that might allow us to get to the end on intermediates. Fisher's now up to 10th, and so even though he's struggling to maintain that pace, he'll be difficult to overtake, and he may sneak into points. You have to be in the top 10 to get points, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how if the pit stop strategy works for us. Obviously, if there's a red flag, then that changes everything because everybody gets the opportunity to change their tires. But I think at this stage we're okay. We've gone carefully on our wets. We'll also look at the fuel burn situation, whether we can drop the hammer now and not worry about fuel burn. That will certainly allow us to maintain our lead. So let's just check that now. Let's pause. If we go here, we can then see, so we're not quite at the stage of being able to drop the hammer completely. Minus 1.3 laps. So another couple of laps and we'll probably have enough fuel to keep that down all the way for the rest of it. So we've got an 11-second lead at the moment. We probably start reducing this because they're on fresh wets, a little bit better performance than my wets, but probably aren't going to, you know, chew up that quickly. And then we're already targeting, you know, lap 34, 33, something like that as a two-stop strategy. We're at lap 30 now, so hopefully we'll have enough in the tank here to keep them off us. And they've caught up pretty quick. They're at 6 seconds now behind us. So we'll just see how we go here and whether we're going to go intermediate, which I think is probably the play here. Let's just see how close we are. Yeah, we're still too wet to go intermediates, but we're near the bottom end of the wets range as well. So let's just see if we can maximize our fuel now. Minus 0.7. If there's another yellow flag, then we should be fine. So I'm going to leave it down. We're basically half a lap off. And we just need to keep an eye on wear and just try and maximize this as long as possible, because the longer it goes on, the more the track dries out, which allows us to get into intermediate range and maybe get a head start on the rest of the grid in switching over from wets to intermediates. So we've just done another lap. Let's check again. It's pit strategy. See, our intermediates are very close to being in range now, so we can get maybe 2 more laps in, we could be very close here. You can see wets is still in range, but they're not going to be for much longer. And so definitely intermediates are the way to go. Having the extra throttle down is definitely helping us just keep this. We've got another yellow flag. That's actually good news for our fuel strategy. We potentially could go for a pit stop while everybody's going slow. We won't do it on this go around, but potentially on the next we might want to consider doing it. So let's see. Yeah, intermediates. That would get us to the end of the race on neutral. and they're only going to get better. So I think we want to do that. And the question is, do we do it now or right at the end? So if we're about halfway around at this stage. There's 2 minutes 28 left. So we wouldn't better do another lap. Everybody's going to start speeding off. And so I think we want to do it on this lap while everybody's going slow. That maximizes our chances. And so I think we'll confirm a pit stop, and we'll do the same for this guy. We'll go intermediates and we'll confirm. We'll let him go first, and hopefully this two-stop strategy will work. Everybody else is going to have to switch over to intermediates, I think, at some point. Let's see if we get a good switch over. We did 12 seconds. That was really good. And P1's now in. We're going to be overtaken. We get a good... Yep, we did 12.99. That's good. And we got out just behind third place. So we're now in fourth. But hopefully can ride these tires to the end of the race. It looks like we're very close to having enough fuel. We do have enough fuel on Fisher's car. So let's see how we go here. Let's see if we can. We've already taken third place. And so, yeah, let's just leave neutral steering and see how much progress we can make here. It would be interesting to compare our times with those on wets. And then hopefully this will reduce over time. So let's see what our first lap is. P15, 1:36. That's a good sign. PK, 1:30. So we're doing 3 seconds faster. You can see at the moment, intermediates were right on the top end of their range, whereas wets were at the bottom of their range, and it's only going to get drier as it goes on. So this strategy could play out really nicely for us, allow us to have an easy first place position. And Fisher should also be able to get a few places up, potentially even get up to 10th. Yeah, we've just done fastest lap, 1 minute 30. Second place is doing 1:33, so we should be able to lap these guys and get in front. Fisher, he's currently competitive with people around him, but they're going to have to do another stop, and you can see everybody else is switching over to intermediates. We're now in P1. Now second and third have just switched over to intermediates. So we just had a perfect strategy there. Really worked out nicely for us, allowed us to make sure that we maximized our lead, and just perfect timing in terms of that transition to intermediates at the natural time that we wanted to change our tires. So we're currently going to run out of fuel if we continue burning our fuel. So we'll have to just drop that back a little bit at some point. If there is another yellow flag, then it doesn't really matter. We'll be fine. But I think we want to just knock it back to regular for maybe just one lap, and that'll be enough for us then to... Fisher's okay. He's got enough fuel on board to get to the end without changing in strategy, and we'll just get this one more lap done, and then we can put the hammer down again and keep Prost off. It's a little tight. 0 left. We'll just keep it down for the rest of this lap. So we're up to 11th at the moment with Fisher. There's still a few cars in front that's still on wets, and so Fisher may be able to get a few more places up. 10th would be ideal at this stage. We can get 1st and 10th as an opening. I'd be very happy with that as our first race. So the performance of the intermediates is going to reduce. We're getting right down to the, kind of bottom of the tire, but hopefully it'll be enough to finish, and we can keep our lead and our distance with 7 seconds in front of Prost. and we're 26 seconds in front of Ambrosio. So in theory, we should be fine. We should be safe. And there's still two Wagner and Silver still on wets. They will need to change their tires, I think, before the end of the race. The only thing that could impact this is a red flag, which would reset the grid, and we'd have to start from the grid again. So that would be a bad scenario to have. Let's see if we can keep on the track and maintain our 9-second lead at this stage. Quite a lot of traffic for second and third to get through, which is good for us. We certainly have less to get past. And we're also not burning our tires as much as they are, so in theory we should have enough to hold them off if they do catch up. So at this stage we're looking pretty good for first and maybe 10th or even 9th, and potentially definitely holding on to P1 pole position and get our first points of this race. Now, still is a risk that we crash with this intermediate level of driving strategy. You can see the crash chance is low. The only way to stop completely crashing is to do the conserve option, but not sure that that's worth doing at this stage. I think we want to keep pushing and see if it looks like Fisher might be on the cusp of trying to get 10th position, very close to overtaking Silver. We're maintaining our 8-second lead, which is good news, and we're similarly paced to our other cars, not really gaining on us. And Fisher did take 10th place because Ambrosio dropped out to pit and change over to intermediates, I think. We even have Silver switching to mediums. Okay, so interesting. So let's just pause here. Yeah, we're still in the range of intermediates. I'm surprised somebody would have switched over to the medium compounds, given how wet the track still is. I'm not sure that strategy is going to work for him. Wagner's still the only other car that hasn't changed their wets, and they're going to have to do it very soon because their pace is definitely dropping down. We're 2 seconds faster than them, so we may even get up to potentially 8th if we keep pushing this hard. Let's just check our fuel level. Yep, we're good. Perfect amount of fuel, just enough to end. Peak Alberto has just completed fastest lap, 1:25. So he's charging, but hopefully he still has Prost to overtake, and so we have a bit of a buffer. We should be okay here. Wow, and somebody's actually gone to softs, which is kind of crazy, given the track is drying out, but let me just check again. Would softs be viable? I don't think so. Maybe towards the end of the race it would be, but I think intermediate is probably going to be enough to get us to the end. 7 laps to go. We're up to 9th. Fisher's doing fantastic driving effort. He's now chasing down 8th, boots on. And we're currently 2 seconds faster than him. We're just 2 seconds behind, so we've got a really good chance of even overtaking boots on and getting 8th. See, there's a few more pits in front of us. That's fantastic. Okay, there's teams switching to softs. It's going to be really interesting to see if Prost is able to make up that much time. Let's keep an eye on his track times. I think it's too soon for softs looking at the wets, but it looks like everybody's doing. Alberto is in. He's switching to softs too, and so let's keep an eye on their lap times. once they've removed their pit stop tab. So 135 is Prost's fastest lap, and 128, so 7 seconds faster than him. Another DNF. Wagner's out on softs. I'm not surprised. No grip, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see more softs fall out here. We've got a 4-second delay. It's great for our fuel economy. 57 laps. This should be the end of the race pretty much. There'll be a couple of laps left, so potentially you might want to put the hammer down for Fisher to see if he can take 7th position and grab that spot. But I'm not sure this strategy has really made any sense for Prost and Alboreto, Rosberg even on mediums. Just a really interesting strategy to go for. Would not have been my pick. So there's 1 minute left on the yellow flag, and then we're going to go again. It's a rolling start, so we don't have to reset the grid on this stage. We currently have a 34-second lead over Prost, and then Alboreto is 16 seconds further back. So I don't expect to see that many changes, but we might see more DNFs as cars struggle. So there's one lap to go. We're going to easily get first place here, and so I attempted to knock everything back. Fischer's a different matter. He's currently in 8th and very close to 7th, but is it worth pushing? He's 2 seconds behind. Boutson's also on intermediate, so we're not likely to get much in the way of benefit there. There's 4 seconds behind him, so I'm going to just leave Fischer to coast through. Final lap. This should be a relatively straightforward P1 win for us, which is a fantastic way to start this season. And through we go. Fantastic. P1, race 1. So Fischer is going to finish in 9th, I think. Let's see how he does. Here he comes. Yep, 9th position. Really good race by him. Strategy worked out absolutely beautifully. You can see out of all the cars that actually finished, we were the only cars to have 2 stops. Everybody else had 3 or 4. So yeah. Oh, it looks like Pratama, who crashed, he died. This is 1984, so that did happen a little bit more regularly than it does today. But a real tragedy there. We've lost our first driver of the race, of the season. And so Alain Prost ended up with the fastest lap as he was charging at the end. But great first win for Nelson Piquet. Let's spray the champagne. Williams takes its first points of the constructor tournament, so we gain 7 points. Williams gets 9 points with the points from first place plus the points from 9th, I guess. We probably got a point from that. McLaren close behind on 7 with 2nd and I believe 3rd, but we got $8, completed both our benefits there. So we didn't actually gain any points for Fischer in, so he's still on 0. So it's only top 10, maybe top 8 maybe, to get points. So this is a bit of a shame. I thought he would have got points, but he didn't. So at the moment we're at the top. Williams Honda, 9 points. McLaren just behind. So just replacing the dead driver Pratama with Kevin Butler. And we got some new sponsorship offers. It's got a metal tubing and vice. Golden tune and chassis on one of your cars. It's relatively easy to do. I'll get the drivers in consecutive positions without giving them overtake orders. This is unlikely to happen just because the performance of the 2 cars and drivers are pretty significant. If we had 2 drivers that were very, very similar, this is probably more likely, but I think metal tubing is the safer option. And so you can see now we have $8. We can now go into our garage and improve our vehicles. We do want to look at what the next race is. It's the Swashel Ring, and so we probably want to have crash fatality here is high. And be careful we don't die. So yeah, that's race 1. We're going to put a pause in the video there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think this game has got a lot of potential, and it's super available, super accessible to jump in and learn a little bit about F1, which is the king of motorsport. And this game is a lot of fun to play. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, feel free to subscribe to the channel for playing more videos like this to come. I also play Civilization, Mechabellum, tower defense games. So if you enjoy all of those, it'd be really great for you to subscribe as we try and target our first 100 subscribers. So this is Old School Gamer signing off. Take care, guys.